What it do? What it do? Team No Sleep. September, mid
Yes, sir.
September. I don't know what it is because again, I'm just now fresh off the plane. I spent too much time in Las Vegas, but it's good to be home with this man right here. Montel Allen, how you living, brother?
Man, blessed as always, brother. Like I said, my worst day is a blessed day. I cannot
Mm-mm.
complain. The man upstairs is always blessing us and taking care of us. So that's the way we roll.
That's it. That's the way we. I need to get that as a sound effect. Listen, welcome everybody. We see folks in the building. We see folks on time and early. Listen, David Hunt is here. Man, I thought you was already a OG legit member, but if not, welcome, sir. Welcome, David Hunt. He's already one of our top moderators. See,
Uh-huh.
he keeps the riffraff and the troublemakers like this guy at bay.
Okay.
Because see, whenever Dan show up, you never know where the conversation is going. You never know if we got to put him on pause, on timeout, or whatever. But we'll leave that to Mr. Hunt this evening.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Seniors in the building. We are official now. Hope you got some good luck with what you were doing today earlier, sir. Got the equipment and the gear you were looking for. But listen, let's go and get into it. Yes, you are, Dan. You trouble. You trouble. Um, Social impact of sport. That's what we talk about.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna get into some things. We got uh, a hard hitting topic to talk about. I'm gonna set this all up. We got a hard hitting topic to start off with the conversation, and then we kind of go into some more discussion. Hope we can have some conversation with everyone in the building. Oh Lord, have mercy. Mom's at work in the break room, eating her salad or whatever it is, with her fresh new hairdo in the break room watching Team No Sleep. So I got to make sure that I make sure I don't say any bad words or nothing here while we live. Let's do this. So, but hey, I just hit you with this actually before we came online. You wasn't even prepared for it. You wasn't ready for it. But this story came across the airways middle of last week, right? Middle of last week. Here's the headline. You see it: teen shot in the face by Colorado councilman after seeking permission to take homecoming pictures on the property. Case in point, long story short, 17-year-old kids living in Colorado wanted to take homecoming pictures, wanted to take some dope homecoming pictures. Apparently this man has nice property, right? Open meadow, pond, just dope layout, right? They climbed over his fence. They were heading towards the front door to knock on and ask for permission to, hey man, can we come on your property and actually take pictures? The man was driving by. He saw the folks in his yard. He pulled out his weapon and he shoots the kids. The man, of course, and so the guy who shot, who owns the property, he's a councilman. So all up in arms about that because, come on, councilman, can't you have a little bit of restraint? Can you not shoot the kids that look like they were really harassing or tearing up your property? But I only bring this up. It has nothing to do with sports, but again, it has more about a social impact perspective. 17-year-old kids, even when you're not doing anything wrong, or even when you're not doing anything malicious, because yeah, they trespass. I'll say that. Yeah, they trespass. But do we have to go to the extreme of shooting somebody every time we have an issue, altercation, confrontation, whatever the case may be? Again, 17-year-old kids just harmlessly wanting to take homecoming pictures on the man's property. Yeah, they climbed over his fence. They were heading towards his front door. The man saw him as he was driving by. He pulled out his gun and he shot him. Whole lot to unpack. I know how I feel on this again because I don't think it was that significant of a issue to mess around and shoot somebody. But Montel and everyone in the audience, I want to hear your thoughts on this before we go on to some other topics.
This is disturbing. It's very disturbing. A young man sees some teens in his yard, not tearing anything up, like you said, not being malicious, happen to be in his yard, and you drive by and you see them. So your first reaction is to shoot with intent to kill, definitely harm, right? And you shot one of the young men in the face because they were asking to take some homecoming pictures.
Yeah.
Obviously, they weren't dressed like criminals because they must have been in homecoming dresses and suits, right? Outfits.
Come on.
You mean tell me he didn't have enough? He didn't have enough of awareness around himself to kind of recognize and take a look at the kids and say, this looks a little bit odd. Really, somebody's on your property, breaking in your house and doing something damaging you in suits and homecoming dresses? I mean, come on, man. They need to stop with the excuses. Like, you did something wrong. Granted, they were trespassing. They were on your property. They weren't welcome on your property. Trespassing is a small misdemeanor compared to somebody being harmed by a gun. You know what I mean? Being shot by a gun because you trespassed, because you trespassed, you didn't do any damage to the man's property.
In the face.
So,
Okay,
so
I'm elevating the level of severity on this because again, this councilman, on his property, but he had to shoot these kids in the face.
No, there's no excuse. He should be going to jail because he intended to hurt these kids. I don't care if he was on your property. That doesn't make any difference, man. I mean, come on, man. You need to have some mindfulness around the situation and the scenario that's going around, whether to create, protect yourself or not. He was not harmed in any way. He wasn't threatened in any way.
I don't even know if his home, quote unquote, was harmed. And the reason I bring that up, and I hate to interrupt you because I want to feed you the story, right? So in Colorado, and you'll see it here printed, Colorado has a quote unquote make my day law, which allows residents to use deadly force against an intruder inside their home.
Inside.
Come on, right? Kids were in the yard. They jumped the fence. They were in the yard heading towards the house because they wanted to ask for permission.
Inside the home. Your yard is not inside your home. Your yard is outside your yard. That's typically outside your home. So he didn't follow the law. Again, they're trying to justify what he did, or print what they justify what he did. Yeah. What he did was unjustifiable. I don't care what nobody says. They can print it up. They can do it, and he's probably going to get off because he's a councilman, and he'll fight this tooth and nail. I'm pretty sure. But the fact of the matter, he just damaged these kids' lives over some BS because he didn't have enough awareness of himself to say, let me slow down, let me figure out what's going on before I do anything. Fine, draw your gun.
Yeah.
You don't have to use it, draw your gun. Hey, what are you guys doing on my property? What are you doing on my property? Why'd you have to shoot? That's my problem. Why did he have to shoot? Why was his first resort was to shoot these young people on his property when like you said, they were getting permission? And matter of fact, let's say they weren't getting permission. Let's just say they was in his yard. It doesn't give you justified right to shoot nobody, man. Just tell them to get off your yard.
Yeah, just do my old, as I call it, my Morgan Freeman thing, kids get off my lawn kind of thing. But I mean, according to the report, the shooting took place on a public road outside of the parameters of the man's private property. So again, jumping to conclusions, going to that full extreme of using deadly force for no reason, thinking that everything is bad. I'm trying not to turn this into a political conversation, but I want to, but I'm trying not to because And just take what I just said to heart, folks. Everything on this planet everything in this country is not bad. Everyone is not up to malicious intent. But you don't have to shoot nobody in the face.
Pull the onion back, the layers of the onion back a little bit. We got to ask why he's at that point. Why is his point? His point break is I'm automatically going to shoot to kill.
Yeah.
If I see something out of the ordinary or something that I don't agree with right away, his impulse was to shoot and kill. Not ask a question. Not, hey, what's going on? Let's flip it around. What if those young kids need help? What if they were running from somebody?
Yeah.
That was really trying to do something hard to them. See, that's what I'm saying, man. Don't make excuses for him. You committed a crime. You shot these young people. So you just changed their life forever in every aspect, from a physical feature to a mental state. You changed their lives forever, how they're going to react. Because he didn't want to take the time to figure out what was going on, or even have the gall to be a little bit patient to kind of fear and see how the situation was going to play itself out. You're not a police officer. You're not even in a dangerous situation. There was no posed threat to you. There was nothing. And yet you shoot kids. Man,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't have no empathy or sympathy for him. He didn't do anything. They didn't do anything.
I'll interject this, and then I'll get to these comments because I see some good comments coming as well. Because I'm actually glad this is coming off of the Independent out of UK. So shouts out to them, I guess, for some non-biased reporting here. But I like the fact that they don't necessarily there's no race reference in it. So it's right. Regardless if it was a black kid, white kid, Hispanic kid, or whatever the case may be, just the fact
Yeah.
that this man went to this extreme, went from 0 to 100, and decided to shoot these kids in the face. The shooting unfolded on Tuesday when the 17-year-old boy and his friend told investigators they were looking for a quote unquote cool place to take homecoming pictures.
Sad, man. It's sad. It's sad.
Let's see. Mom
And
says,
also, okay, so let me dial back because I want to make sure I correct myself. So they weren't in their homecoming attire. They weren't in their homecoming attire, but they were going there to say, before we have homecoming, let's say on Friday, is it okay we make some arrangements that we could do pictures here instead of somewhere else? So they were going to get permission from him beforehand, before the homecoming.
yeah, let me.
That's my assumption.
Yeah. Let me bring it up here. So it says the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office said the two teens claimed they hopped the fence and looked for the homeowner, but couldn't find anyone there. They said they returned to their vehicle to write a note to the owner seeking permission to take photos on the property. 17 years old, I'm jumping fences too, right? But again, I'm not doing anything nice like this. I'm jumping over the fence, go get in the fight or something. These kids jumping the fence just want to take pictures for homecoming.
Yeah,
couldn't find the cat, couldn't find the dude. So he said, you know what? Let's go back to our ride. Let's write a note. Their car apparently, as it says, was off of the direct private property. That's where the guy saw him. Then he shot him.
So he made the assumption that they were either robbing or did something to his home. Right? That was the assumption. I'm going to put myself in his shoes, or try to put myself in his shoes. So I'm driving by, I see two kids hop my fence, and they jump in their car. Right? Mm-hmm. That's what he sees. That's the aesthetics that I see. So his first thing was to go, not call the police. Hey, I think these two guys broke in my house. Not do whatever. Not even ask them a question. His first resort was to pull out his gun and start shooting. Didn't even check his house to see if there was any damages. Didn't check anything. He just assumed that they were committing a crime. Like you said, I don't even care what the color of the kids are. The fact that they're 17-year-old kids. And I'm sorry, a 17-year-old kid looks way different than a 21, 24, 28, 30-year-old man.
Right.
They do. And I'm not excusing. I know kids commit crime and all that stuff. But I don't care if the kid did break in his house and stole something. It doesn't justify him shooting them in the face. I don't care if they stole something from him. I don't care what they were doing in the house. It doesn't justify you stealing and shooting them in the face, especially when they've already made their way off your property. Aren't you a councilman? Let the law handle it. You can get their license plate number. You can get everything at that point. You can even take pictures of the kids and say, these are two kids I just saw running up my house. Go check it out. Where does he get the right to take the law in his own hands?
Exactly.
Especially when there was no posing threat to him or his family directly. So I know I don't feel any sympathy for him, and I hope he gets the book thrown at him for that. Because like I said, he just impacted two kids that were trying to do the right thing.
Yeah. It is categorically unreasonable to me that you think you can shoot a kid in the face through a car window because they're outside of your property. That's coming from a criminal defense lawyer.
Absolutely.
So
I agree.
I don't think old boy is going to go get away with this with just a slap on the wrist. This is definitely not a good look. And just wanted to bring this up. And I'm going to get to these comments too. Again, man, kids trying to just do, kids being kids, trying to do something good. Wanting to take some cool, unique pictures.
What'd you say last week? We got to do better. It ain't just people out. We got to do better. We have to do better as a society. We got to do better as individuals. We got to do better. And our first inclination can't be just to be distrustful all the time.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know who it starts with, but listen, I'm gonna do the Michael Jackson thing. I'm gonna look in the mirror and try to start here with me. I'm gonna do the Michael Jackson thing. And the only reason I'm slightly laughing because I'm answering Dan's question: did the kid survive? Yeah, the kid did survive. So it was not a deadly incident. He also says schools still do Flag Day, want us to be patriotic. How can we be patriotic when this has become representative of our nation's culture? Again, I'm not. Y'all can read between the lines. I'm trying not to go on a political slant here. Y'all, we can if you want to, but again, I'm trying just putting the evidence to you of what's going on. 17-year-old kids. 38-year-old man.
As we
Shot in the
tie into
face.
sports, I hope someone of the sports figures in Denver mention this and talk about this
I don't know.
because this is an impact.
I don't know why
I do.
I don't know why Coach Sanders didn't say anything.
I mean, I don't know why Coach Sanders hasn't said anything. I don't know why Coach Norvell at Colorado State hasn't said anything.
Yeah.
I don't know why the Denver Broncos organization hasn't said anything. I don't know why the Denver Nuggets organization hasn't said. I don't know why the Avalanche, the Rockies. Somebody should be saying something about this.
When I first saw this, I wanted Coach Sanders to say, I know they were preparing for the game, Colorado and
It
Colorado.
doesn't
I know
matter. This is bigger than the game, though.
There
It's
you
bigger
go.
than the game.
They get it.
There's some things we need to we got to start pulling back in content of what things are.
Yes, sir.
I love sports. I love football, but there's some things that are bigger than those things in life. Something like this is life altering. The fact that those 17-year-old kids could have been two of his recruits, right? And all of this is just changing the faces of the people that were there, changing the makeup of those two kids. Those could have been anybody and any kids that wanted to take nice homecoming pictures with their dates on their last hurrah for their homecoming or whatnot, and they saw a nice piece of property and they could have been shot. So why aren't we addressing those things that are bigger than sports? Granted, it may not be the platform that was developed for that, but it's a platform you have to be able to say things about that and speak up against it. But yet we're talking about Colorado facing whoever they're facing this week is more important. It's not more important than that. It really isn't. And Coach Sanders, since he has a platform and he has a bigger voice than most, why not mention it? I feel sorry. I say prayers for those two kids that got shot by that councilman, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We don't agree with that. We need to start taking a stance against gun violence. We really do, as a community, as a culture, as everything, all the way around. Why not be the voice of that? And it's kind of disappointing that none of those people have stepped up and said anything.
I don't know, man. Asking were the kids black again. It's not necessarily in the story, but I just, as Martel was talking, I just found this right here. The update: he has been formally charged with these crimes here, and Metz is accused of shooting a teen who, along with his friends, said they hopped a fence. They hopped the fence to knock on the property owner's door to get permission to take high school homecoming photos. When it appeared no one was home, they went back to their car on the side of the road to write a note for the property owner. According to the arrest warrant, Metz pulled up in his truck, pulled a handgun, and shot the 17-year-old through the windshield of his Audi. Metz was formally charged Tuesday with second-degree assault, 2 counts of menacing and illegal discharge of a firearm. They're all felonies.
Good job, State of Colorado, and that prosecution attorney. Great job.
So they gonna make a case out of this gentleman here, and they throw in the book.
Yes. Absolutely,
because he was definitely in the wrong.
Good, yeah, and I'm glad that great for that prosecution in that county, in that state, to go full blow on this because it's wrong, and I'm glad they recognize it.
Yeah. 4:15 in the again. I'm just reading new stuff. 4:15 in the afternoon. So the sun was out. He saw what was going on. What's in the favor of the kids? Investigators found the note that the teens were writing in a school binder. They say Metz said nothing before firing.
Hey, it should. You would think it would be a open, case. Close the door case. It's easy slam dunk. It should be a slam dunk case. As we know, these things don't really happen that way. But I'm glad the prosecution, in that county decided to press charges and go full blow. I think that's a step, right? That's a step in the right direction. That's doing better, right? Holding people accountable for the things they do that are wrong to others.
I agree. Man, we see him, a man here, real men rising. So we see Walter Strong asking questions. Appreciate being here. So he says, do you believe professional and collegiate teams are afraid they don't want a Colin Kaepernick media issue for not responding or for not getting involved? That's an interesting question. And I don't know how to respond to that. Let me think about it and let you go.
I would say yes. I say yes. They're probably scared, but I mean, at what point are we going to stop being afraid and really allowing us to be able to take control of our platforms? And necessarily, you don't have to say it in front of the media. Deion could have just put it on his Twitter, right? He has over a couple of million followers at that point, so it doesn't have to be on the big stage in the media in front of the cameras and all that. Start on the microphones. He could have said something on Twitter. He could have said something on IG, Instagram. And that would have blew up, and someone would have probably asked him a question about it. So I think there's creative ways to make your stands, but but also you got to be careful. I agree with that statement. You have to be careful because if you say the wrong thing or stand up for the wrong cause, we have this cancel culture thing that's going on, and I believe young men are afraid of that. I really do. But at some point you got to step outside of that. I believe you got to step outside of that. I mean, what's that old phrase our parents used to say? You got to stand for. If you don't stand for something, you got to stand for something.
For anything. That's true.
Or you don't stand for anything. You got to stand for something in order to be able to, maintain your morals and and your beliefs. I think all of us are aware that gun violence there's a problem in this country. I don't think there's nothing wrong talking about it at all, especially if you say it in the right manner and on the right platform. You can say I'm against gun violence and be perfect. I don't care who you are. Shador can stand up and say, you know what, I'm against gun violence. We need to have something. Something needs to be done. Travis Hunt can agree. Yeah, we need to do something about gun violence. I don't think that's bad. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think media will crucify them for doing anything like that. I think when you disrupt the money part, there's where we should start to run into maybe just some gray areas. And I think especially more so in the NFL area or the professional area than more so in the collegiate area. College is a place where you're supposed to rebel. You're supposed to, be on your platform.
Yeah.
You're supposed to speak your mind. We're supposed to be able to argue against the machine or the man or whatever you want to call it. We're supposed to be able to be able to have stand up and do those things. And there's various ways of doing it. Wearing a black wristband. Everybody on the team wearing a black wristband on. There's so many different ways you can do to stand up for things that you don't agree with in the collegiate area and not be in trouble and not be afraid. I think this would have been a prime opportunity for them to step up and say something.
So let me ask you this, and I'm going to take a different route, bring it back to a little bit of sports with the same conversation, and you see it going across the ticker at the bottom. And it's in regards to Walter's question. C.J. Stroud, after the game with the Bears, went up and talked to Caleb Williams, told him, hey, brother, keep your head up, keep doing your thing, right? This is, you're going to learn from this, woo, woo, woo. Media is twisting that around. That interaction between those two, between elder C.J. Stroud, he's been in the league 2 years longer, as maybe he was belittling him, or right. So again, the media construed that innocent interaction between two professional athletes. You see it going across the screen right now. Stroud wasn't trying to little bro Williams on Sunday Night Football. So maybe that has some of the reason why Shador Sanders, why Deion Sanders, why Colorado State didn't say anything, because again, then you go into the press room. I just want to have that conversation to see what you think.
I think that's a stretch. I think that's a stretch, and I do believe the media is trying to make something out of nothing with that conversation they had after the game. So what if he was little bro? We all have big brothers in there, people that have been in here that's done this a little bit more, and we got to understand the nature of what's going on. Anybody with a competitive nature, and somebody's trying to talk to you, probably really don't want to hear it right this second, right? You don't want to hear it. You might take the words in, you probably walk away, hey man, okay, cool, good job, good game, man. I'm trying to get, damn, I messed up. You start to think about the mistakes you made, the things you could have did correct in order to win the game.
Yeah.
So I'm not going that they can try to make something out of nothing all they want with that, but it's really not a big deal. And I don't believe the two are even related. I think taking a stance against a cause and having an uncomfortable conversation with somebody, or having a conversation you don't want to have with somebody, even have a conversation with your enemy or somebody, your adversary, at that point, has nothing compared to standing up for a cause, a bigger cause, something that we should all be agreeing on. I do believe we have to watch the media with a sharp eye, because, like you said, to the other eye, because I saw the interview. Caleb kind of pulled away when he was saying something to him, and Caleb was trying to walk away. And he grabbed him again, and he kind of pulled him closer. They had whatever word they say, some of the words, and they were like, "Okay, we're out." Media was like, "Oh, they're arguing. He didn't want to do this. He didn't want to do all that." And I didn't little bro him or anything like that. So what if he did? Hey, baby, bro, it's gonna be good. Don't worry about it. We're good. In the heat of the moment, it's just a conversation to go away about. I don't understand why the same focus is on when two other players do it, when two Caucasian players do it. I see coaches do it all the time.
Yeah.
They come to the thing, they don't care, whatever. Keep it moving. Sometimes they don't shake hands. Does the media try to blow it up, say, oh, he tried to little bro him and all? They don't do all that. Oh, look at this. And then they move on, right? Oh, look at this. They didn't agree. Look at that fierce competition between each other. The competition was fierce. They didn't want to
Come
shake
on.
hands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So why are we turning this into some type of media blitz on this unnecessary to show there's a division between two young African American players or any players at all? It's not, man. He just had a words with him. He just pulled away a little bit. You thought the conversation was over. He pulled him back in. He said something else to him. They pounded each other on the shoulder pads and they broke. They left. It was the end of it. No big deal. So my question to you is, how come how come the media does that? I mean, are you trying to start a rivalry?
Come on. We listen. We all know we're not naive because that's sexy, right? That's that 30, 60 second sound bite
Clickbait.
catch reel. That's what that is, right?
Yeah.
That is, so that gets more likes, eyes, views, shares, and all that. Unfortunately, folks, we will never be in that game because we didn't spend. Oh my gosh, we didn't spend 26 minutes talking about this story right here. And trying to wrap it around how, as you just said a few minutes ago, how we can just do better as a society.
We got to do better as a society, man.
And that's not a sexy conversation. So this first 26 minutes probably isn't going to sell, but you know, we doing our thing.
We got to quit falling for the okie doke, right? We got to quit falling for the okie doke. Just because somebody, they say it on TV, remember, media tries to control the narrative to spin it in their favor, whichever it may be. They want to spin it in their favor to make sure you click on it or you read about it. And they already know controversy sells. Violence, not just really controversy just sells. I'll keep it that part. Controversy sells. They want to start this beef that ain't even there to make sure that you watch it or you tune in or whatnot. It's not there. I really don't believe there's any issue with there. And I think we need to kind of draw back as audience and be like, I'm not going to buy into that. That was nothing. That's nothing. When we should be standing up for, again, if somebody says, you know what, we don't agree, we're wearing these black sleeves because we don't agree with gun violence.
Yeah.
Or we're wearing this because we don't agree with gun violence. We're wearing, something, let's talk about that. Let's discuss that. Let's not discuss that me and James just got to finish having a basketball game and he beat me by 1 point and I'm pissed off and I'm mad. That's not the bigger conversation. That's the heat of the conversation. That's the heat of battle of us being competitive. And my juices may be still flowing, and I really don't feel like shaking his hand because I think he might have cheated me or something like that. I don't want to shake his hand, but that doesn't mean I have a problem with him. That just means I'm mad at the performance I had and I wasn't able to achieve my goal. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, but sure enough, 20, 30 minutes after we go in the locker room, throw some stuff around. So I'm taking folks into the locker room now. We throw stuff around. We say some bad words. We take a shower. We get cleaned up. An hour after the game, I'm going to find you in the tunnel, and we going to dap it up. Right, everything is going to be good. I don't have to do it immediately after the game on camera in front of NBC, ABC, CBS. Right, let us go through the emotion.
Yeah,
whatever the agony of defeat, the thrill of victory. Let us go through all that, process it. That's all right, man. We can talk about this later too. I still don't understand the whole interview after after a big game. For either team, right? Because again, you're on such a trajectory of emotions that I can't give an objective conversation. I couldn't give an objective.
No, I don't mind you. I don't mind you asking for the interview.
Yeah,
but I'm also just saying, don't everything. I mean, us or people that are athletes need to be able to have to control their emotions if you agree to the interview, right? You need to control your emotions if you agree to the interview and say the right thing. So I don't mind you asking. I mean, just. That person needs to ask himself, can I control myself during this interview because my emotions are going to get to me and just decline, right? But you already know at the professional level, if you decline the interview, you can get fined.
That's going to be a bad day for you. That's going to be a bad day for you.
Yeah. There are clauses in their contracts like, hey, if they pull you to the side, say you need to do the interview, and you decline the interview, guess what? You're going to be fined $25,000. So, I mean, again, you're trading lightly. You're trading on some different waters when you in that professional realm. College kids can kind of do their whole thing, but again, they got to have a certain amount of professionalism around them. That's why that PR coaching is so important to those kids, especially that are in that limelight. They need to be able to be coached how to speak well, how to talk well, think about what you're saying. All those things that come into play.
It's easy to say. It's easier to say this than it is to actually put it into practice. Because I'm sitting here thinking about DJ Moore from the Bears.
Yeah.
He's now in front of the microphone after the game. Now he's trying to explain himself for showing emotion after they lost to Houston. Right.
Yeah.
Again, in the moment, I was gladiator out there on the field, gave it everything I had. We lost. I got all kind of feelings. He shows emotion after the game. Now he's back at the podium the day after the game in press conferences saying, I shouldn't have showed emotion. Right. It's a lot easier to say, keep the straight face, keep the poker face, as opposed to letting it out. But again, the
It
media
is.
will spin it and think you're weak. The media will spin it and think that I don't know. I don't know what they think, because I won't never be like that. Let me let you
I
respond to
agree
that,
with
and
you.
then I want to get to these comments that are coming
Yeah,
in.
yeah, I agree with you. It's a lot easier said than done.
Mm-hmm.
But so is Chinese arithmetic, right? It's a lot
God,
easier said than done. You got to be able to do it.
this man said
So if that's
Chinese
part of your
arithmetic.
profession, if that's part of your profession and part of what you're going to be a part of, and you're going to be in that realm, unfortunately, you got to learn certain ways how to control your emotions, especially when the media asks you, sometimes some of the outrageous questions. I think Devontae Adams does a great job of it for the Raiders.
Yeah.
Losing, winning, his frustration, he still goes to the podium, he answers the questions, he does what he does, and he does a poker face very, very well. Basketball players do it a lot. I mean, it's part of their job. Just playing on the field and practicing is not. You got to do other things. All of your job is you become superstars. So it's just part of the gig. I just think there's nothing wrong with showing emotion and showing anger and showing disappointment. There's nothing wrong with that, because it's part of the game, win or lose or draw. I
There
think
you
us
go.
as fans need to stop taking it out of content.
Yes. Yes.
Or actually, and media should stop trying to blow it up out of content. It's not that serious.
Exactly.
It's not that serious.
I'm feeling that 100%. Catman is in the building. Listen, Catman got a question, and we want to address it. Says, you're not going to like this, but at what point do we not expect our black men who have quote unquote made it risk their upward mobility? Why not ask or expect the AD or president of Colorado to speak out?
I do. I would do all those things. I agree with you 100%. Don't have to just necessarily be the players. It could be the AD. It could be the president of the school.
Mm-hmm.
It could be
Somebody
anybody.
got to say something. We don't care who it is. Somebody got to say something.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I focus on athletes because it's more about athletes and sports. But you're absolutely right. That quote, Catman, that's right. Why the president should say something. The AD should say something. Instead of the athletes and the players, why don't the AD say something? I don't expect them to risk their livelihood, but I do expect you to stand up for a cause. If you have a cause you want to stand up on. I think if you have a belief, you should be able to express your belief without jeopardizing your bag.
Yes.
See what he said? Once you start taking,
that is good. That is good. No, Walter was saying, once you are a star, take against once you as a star take against violence, the media will make a narrative out of that. So once you take a stand against violence, the media will make a narrative out of that, and that's true. Again, you just gotta rise above the noise, and that's kind of in line with what we are trying to inform, educate, and entertain around here. Make sure you just rise above the noise. Be your own self. Be your own individual. Don't worry about these what I call them, crabs in the barrel. Don't worry about them folks.
I truly believe. I think if you feel you're doing the right thing, I think it's okay. I think we all, and I think everyone can agree, Colin Kaepernick did the right thing. He did the right thing. He got punished for it because other people didn't see the vision. But now we're here 8-9 years later, and we have players being arrested with guns drawn on them, in front of stadiums and all these other things. He was absolutely right. We have a problem with gun violence here. So his cause is absolutely right. They just chose not to support it. And I he's commendable.
Mm-hmm.
He spoke his truth. And we all, I wish he wouldn't have lost out on the money he lost. And I would hope nobody else goes through that. But I would hope the NFL, I learned from this point that, hey, if there's a strong cause that we believe in that's affecting us collectively as well as people outside of us, why not say anything? And I believe the NBA, WNBA does a great job. They'll wear shirts that all say certain things, or me movement, or whatever. Whatever they want to say on their shirts, Me Too movement, or whatever they support collectively as a group. They have no problem doing it. Why is it a problem with anybody else saying what they say? As long as they do it in a peaceful way, it doesn't interrupt the game, it doesn't interrupt their play.
There we go.
And also, let's be honest, go through protocol, get approval from the league. I think that's where Kaepernick might have made a mistake, but I don't think there was anything in that place to do anything like that.
He was so far in front of the curve.
Yeah,
there
was no
anything.
PPG. Yeah, there was no policy, procedures, or guidelines to do anything like that. I do believe, in your retrospect, I do believe you need to get approval. So let's just say, and we're just using Colorado as an example. If Shador wanted to say something or say something publicly, I would tell him to go through the proper channels. Talk to your PR person, talk to your coach, talk to your AD, and say, hey, if I mention this, is this okay? You know, is it okay we wear these black sleeves because we're against gun violence and what happened to the young men that got shot? Like, go through the proper channels, but I do believe you can have a voice.
Yeah. Tony Davis in the building. Appreciate you, man. He's talking about vision has been the same and the support against it the same. Doesn't matter when it was, the 50s, 60s, 70s, the 90s, or even today, right? And I love the community here that we got, man. If y'all getting some value out of what we talking about, tell somebody. Come on now. So now it's been what? It's been 36 minutes. And we done peeled the onions back. We done gone through a whole lot, and I love it. Catman, keep asking the questions. Now I know you say we're not gonna like it. No, we like it. Keep asking the questions.
No, keep asking those questions, man. I mean, that's how we learn. That's exactly how we learn.
Very slow. It's happening very slow, Tony. It's happening very slow. But time is not say relevant, but time is subjective. Right, this country in of itself is only a few hundred years old compared to rest of the other civilizations across the globe. We just got to keep getting up every single day and keep doing it, keep talking, keep trying to put that dent in the universe.
You got your political voice on, man. That sounds like an excuse, bro. He right. He right. It seems like change is at a standstill.
Well, let me put my Sam Cooke on. Hold on, let me put my change is gonna come.
You know. I mean, you try to be politically correct.
I am. Listen, I just got back from being on stage, talking to the folks.
I think he's right at certain points. Change is almost stagnant. It's almost just stopped. It hasn't changed. Progress of certain people, certain cultures has almost stagnant. It's almost sometimes even going backwards. As much technology we have, as much history we have, as much things we know about each other as human beings, we still have these barriers that are blocking progress. And it's been, like you said, decades. So time is moving too slow. We should be able to move faster with the things that we know. So I would agree with him. I don't know if it's staying still, but it's moving at a snail pace.
Mm-hmm.
For real.
That's why you keep me rooted. And I'm not going to completely fall off the wagon, but you make sure I stay where I need to stay. Okay, I appreciate you that. We the yin and yang here. We bring in all sides of it. I love it. Let's get into some other conversations, man. Appreciate everyone for helping with that and getting into that. Again, y'all see me. He drinking out of regular glass. You see me drinking out of the official Team No Sleep goblet. I'm gonna call it a goblet. Yeah.
What's in that goblet?
See, why? There you go again. I'm trying to get out of the corporate mode for a minute. I've been doing the jazz hands and everything for 72 straight hours. Now I'm trying to come back to me. Okay,
I'm with you. I'm rolling with you.
Let's see. I can't wait to be on the same stage as you in January. You truly have been. Oh, man, see, Dan, don't do that, man. Don't. Because I'll cry in the car. Listen, don't. Okay, I appreciate you, brother. NIL, we've talked about that. We started the conversation about NIL. Shoot, let's go ahead and put some recognition on our name. Now schools are looking at this and saying, man, okay, we got these professionals on campus, and we got to pay them. Mm-hmm. We got to pay them for the name. We got to pay them for the image. We got to pay them for the likeness. We got to pay them because they're bringing folks into our stadiums. They're buying our hot dogs. They're buying our merch. They're doing all this stuff. And we got to pay all the support staff around it, right? Parking people. We got to pay the ushers. We got to pay all the things that go with an event.
Yeah.
Tennessee is saying, listen, we recognize this and we finally going to do something about it. We actually are going to raise the price for all of the events in Knoxville, for all Tennessee fans, regardless of the sport, football, baseball, basketball, water polo, hockey, whatever the case may be, raising prices by 10% to help them pay athletes.
You want my opinion? Let me know when you want my opinion.
Yeah, so it had to happen. Something had to happen. No, something had to happen to come.
No.
You're all right. You're more passionate about it. Come on, go.
And the reason why I say no,
keep that energy.
No, the reason why I say no.
Yeah.
The SEC just got $1 billion deal for the TV rights of them. You can't tell me playing those athletes is going to cost them over $100 million. They don't want to lighten their pockets as an administration. That's what the problem is. They want the big bonuses in their pockets as well, instead of giving off a little bit of money and giving it to the student body. So me as a consumer who's been loyal to your program for all those years, because Tennessee Volunteer fans are loyal, super loyal, more than anybody else. Even when they were losing, they were selling out. They've been loyal all these years. You tell me you're going to charge me 10% now to pay athletes where you just got $1 billion deal? Come on, man. You're trying to nickel and dime me now because you don't want your pockets to get light. That's foul. I believe that's foul. And if you're going to charge me 10%, show me an assessment of data that shows that you got to charge us 10% in order to cover your costs and your payments and your money. Because you already know the money they get. AD's going to get a bonus if they go to a bowl. Guess what?
We know that.
The assistant AD going to get a bonus. All these people are going to get bonuses and their salaries are going to get bumped up 10% every year. They don't want that to stagnate. I'm sorry, you guys just got $1 billion. And that's just talking about their TV deal that's on the SEC, with the SEC network. That's not talking about if they make major bowls, they may play in the NCAA tournament, they play in the College World Series, they play in the volleyball tournament, the girls' basketball team is always good in their tournament. There's so much money that's been made out there that they can give. While all of a sudden you got to check tax the fans when if you have a good sports program, they're making that money. Now, if this is Vanderbilt, I'll be like, okay, maybe they might need to change some money to be able to import their players. We're talking about Tennessee, who's one of the top teams in the nation, who sells out all the time. You're taxing your fans and your customers. No reason why.
It's a 10%. There's no reason why. They're calling it a talent fee. It's 10% talent fee. So let me break it down. And I see folks in the comments because I'm loving this dialogue right here. It says in addition to the 10% increase on all ticket invoices, season tickets and single game purchases, as well as donations for those seats, Tennessee will add an average increase of 4.5% on the football tickets.
Mm-hmm.
So the football tickets are going to be higher.
Yeah.
Even more than the talent fee.
Yes. So they're going to increase those by 14%, 14.5%. For what? Justify what we're saying. Show me some data that shows that, hey, you can't afford to pay the players. Now, don't get me wrong. On the grand scheme of things, it actually kind of makes sense, right? It's business. Pass the cost over to the consumer. No, that's normal business 101. You pass the cost over to the consumer so the consumer can cover it. But in this case, you just got $1 billion. We just started to get good again. Why are we doing that all of a sudden now? And I understand you want to get ahead of the game, but why are you taxing people in today's climate right now an extra 14% for a ticket when like a lot of those people, like I said, have been loyal to that program through the thick and the thin. I don't agree with it. I truly don't. Be more creative. Get somebody to sponsor the team, if that's the case. Wear the logo on the team so they can cover that. Look, every team's going to be wearing meta logos because Zuckerberg's going to give us $3 million.
Make it plain,
that's
brother.
Make it plain.
So
you know what I'm saying?
So you saying that this 75? I'm being facetious now. So you saying that the $75 million profit in 2023 should have been enough to take care of this.
You think that operation costs over $75 million?
No. So here's the funny part about this. I agree with you. I'm spurring the conversation because again, we started talking about NIL and how to pay players back at day zero. Now here's probably the first large institution that's trying to initiate something, going directly to the folks that are coming to the stadium, going to the game, raising the prices of the tickets, raising the prices of the hot dogs. And again, just as you said, the TV money, the TV rights, the big deals there, all the conferences are now legit. Even my
Yes.
Pac-12. Shouts out to my Pac-12. Good Lord, we legit now over here with Oregon State. But SEC, these Tennessee Volunteers, always winning.
Yes.
Always winning.
So
Not just
so
football, but you definitely look at women's basketball. So the
yeah.
school has high quality athletes there all the time.
Yeah. So in order to pay for them, you mean you couldn't pay them out of that money that you've already got?
$75 million in profit.
You know,
That was
you
just
can't
last
get
year.
that. Yeah, you can't get that money all for selling your maybe some of your rights, your name rights, or your stadium name rights, or some of your building name rights in order to make that money instead of having to tax the consumer. Again, man, to me, and I'm sure they got a very bright financial planner. They got a very bright forecaster, but I don't think that's the excuses to pass it over to the consumer. Right? We need to make another adjustment, especially for right now in the time being. You know, if this is the case, everyone get paid the same amount of money in NIL. So that means we cutting everybody a check, everybody getting a check for a certain amount of money to participate. Like, how's the breakdown going to be? Because let's be honest with you, I know football player has more money, but football players have more players, but they also make the most money, right? So is their check a little bit bigger on this cut? Does the golf team get the same amount as the football team?
Yeah.
You know, so I need to see a breakdown of numbers to justify why you want to charge an extra 10% on each ticket. Because let's be honest with you, some places don't get tickets, right? Golf ain't selling no tickets.
That's true. That's true. Listen,
You know, so
all the sports aren't as popular. I don't know
yeah.
how good the Tennessee gymnastics squad is. I don't know how good the water polo is or the cross country, but
I'll be let's be real. No, not a lot of people going to the soccer games.
not going.
They're not going.
No.
Yeah, you'd be lucky. You'd be lucky if you get 1,000 people there, and that's being very generous. You'd be lucky if you get 1,000 people there. So nobody's going to a soccer game. No, and I'm not trying to be mean. It's just
No, it's just the reality of it,
it doesn't. It's
right
the
there.
reality of it. You know, you'd be lucky if you get 1,000 people at the baseball game. You know, outside the College World Series. If it's just a regular baseball game on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you might not get 1,000 people out there. So you're those places typically don't even sell tickets to their games, right? Some of them don't even sell because the venue's so small. So now if I'm asking if I'm a part of the football team or part of this breakup, okay, well then how the money's gonna break down? Is football gonna be making all the money for all these other sports? If that's the case, we need to figure something else out. Why are we raising my ticket prices where less fans will be able to come in or afford to come in
I hear
in
you.
order
I
to
hear you
feed
on that.
somebody else?
Yeah. I hear
Why
you
am I
on
going
that.
to lessen my crowd to be able to come here? And now they can't afford a hot dog and they can't afford a Coke. They can't afford nachos because the prices are going up on everything. Why come our memorabilia is not going to sell as much because you want to charge the prices because we got to fit the bill for everybody else? And I'm not saying that I'm never collective in school, but at some point it's got to work. It's just like WNBA, NBA. NBA makes more because they draw more of a fan base, more of a TV crowd. It's the part of doing business. Just like passing the money over to the consumer, the cost over to the consumer is part of doing business. But in this case, I think it's wrong and bad timing. I truly do.
It hurts the everyday person. It hurts it's an ugly eye for everyone because it hurts everyone. I'm gonna say this right here. What Shirley is saying was Shirley's sponsorship is greater than 10% that most average families fans won't be able to afford. I got it highlighted here, right here. So more than ever, Tennessee fans will have to ante up. In 2025, the cheapest season ticket for home football games, including taxes, the required contribution and talent fee, will cost $453 in the family section.
Oh, not even the VIP or
that's the one ticket in the family section, which is in the upper deck.
Yeah.
Student ticket prices doubled this season from $10 to $20 and will increase to $25 in 2025. So even the kids don't have a job. They're struggling. Most of the kids don't have a gang of cash.
Yeah.
Raising their prices up $20 to $25.
Yeah. So everybody got to go. So my question
Everybody
to
taking the hit.
Right? Well, my question to Tennessee for student bodies that want to come, why don't you just add that $5 or that $10 to the tuition cost, right? Which would cover everybody because they have over how many students that would cover the cost. So that way they don't have to pay any additional money, right? That would cover for students. For a person that wants to go to a single game or buy season tickets, give me justification why we're raising the prices. You know, or you know, and don't tell me it's to pay players, because the job to pay players is for you to figure out the budget on the $1 billion you just got. The job is the money you got. The way to be creative is to sell it to sponsorship and all that stuff. That's the way you go ahead and pay your players. You know, but and let's be careful, man. Those people that have been shouting, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm gonna switch it real quick.
Go ahead.
Those people that play devil's advocate that keep saying players need to get paid. They need to get paid. Okay, well, you're gonna be paying them out of your 10% increase on tickets, right? So you got what you wish for. That's it. You got what you wish for now.
I'm just
people that were crying all this time saying players need to be paid. And man, you know, we talked about NIL and how they should structure it a whole long time ago. Now that they all want to pay players, remember the SEC is the only conference that says we're paying our players. Remember, they're the only ones that we're cutting them a check every week. They're getting a check every week. Okay, well now we're going to start to feel the effects of that economic transformation within college sports. Fans are going to be paying those players.
That's where it's coming from.
Yeah,
that's where it's coming.
They're not taking out their $1 billion. They ain't taking it out of that $1 billion budget they got.
and not out of these raises and incentives, because $2.75 million per year for the athlete, for the AD.
Yeah,
who is White is now the highest paid AD in the country among public universities at $2.75 million per year. After his recent extension, he could earn up to $600,000 more in incentives. Also, the baseball coach went to $3 million annually recently, making him the highest paid baseball. They got money.
They got money
in Tennessee.
Yeah. And they love their sports.
They want your money. They come on. If you want to go there, and then that $400 something, that was for the whole season for season pass. That's crazy,
man.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. But I mean, hey, but you know what? If they're
is this the precedent? Is this the precedent though? All right, again, because this isn't just like some normal no name school talking about what they're going to do. This front page. This is front page ESPN right here.
Okay, let's just kind of go back because now they're starting to be a full-fledged corporation, right? In the athletic department, right? You're starting to do corporate things, right? Raising the prices to your consumers, you know, for your goods and services, right? That you're doing. You're selling this in order to pay your employees, which are your athletes. You know, so now with that being said, the next step, are they going to start structuring things to be like a corporation? What I mean by that, are you going to give them a 401k plan? Are you going to give them options? Yeah, why not? I'm working for you. You're paying me a check. How come I can't invest in my 401k? How come that's not available to me? Do they? I'm saying if you're going to act like a corporation, you need to provide services like a corporation. Am I correct? Within the athletic department. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there.
Are there benefits and incentives now that I am a
employee of the university? As an employee of the university, does my spouse or my siblings or my child get a discount on coming to school here? Because it happens at other school.
This is it right here, right? Because I don't think anyone has thought about this piece right here. Now I'm an employee of this university. I'm out there. My job is to go out there and score touchdowns. You're paying me. I should be getting. There's going to be some taxes that come out of my pay probably, but there should be some benefits as well. I should be getting vision, dental, and health insurance from you.
Which I get that because I'm an athlete. Because you get that within the athletes, you get covered on medical stuff because you got the medical treatment. But I'm saying beyond that, do I get a 401k plan?
Yeah.
Is there a stock option program? Do I get a chance to check? Do I want extensive life insurance? Do I want the things that we have as employees, or do we have those things? And do you provide training to your employees now? Right. Sensitivity training, cultural training, all these things that are provided with us in the workforce. Like, if they're gonna start to operate like a business, then they better be damn well be ready to be treated like a business.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion. And shout out to the Dartmouth Athletic Association, especially the football players that are trying to start a union.
Okay, nice.
They want the athletes to be in the union. They're trying to make sure they don't have a union, but they're trying to make them have a union. I think it would be a great idea. It'll be just like the NFL union. Now they have control. Players will have control on what goes on and what doesn't go on. Now they have a voice, right? On how much they're going to be paid across the board, who's going to get what, and so on and so on. So I don't think we've finished seeing the transformation of how college athletics is going to go, because now we're starting to get into business part of it, right? First it was just athletes, hey, just concerned the athletes. Now the university is now, hey, we got to raise prices. We got to do this. We got to have a forecasting budget out there big time, because guess what? I don't want that to come out that $1 billion we just got, or that $1 billion contract that just came up, or we're going to get $100 million. Guess what? That's not going to come out when we win that bowl game or we get to the bowl game. You know, that $25 million you're going to get right there, they don't come out of that. It's got to be something different.
You mess around and open up a can of worms here, man, because that's a whole different kind of conversation right there.
Man, isn't it? That's an AD who's playing the CEO role. Who's your CFO? Where's your analytics on this? That's what I said. Where's the data that justifies you guys raising the prices to our consumers? I need to see that.
I'm over here taking notes. I'm taking notes because we're gonna keep on top of this story right here, because again, as this evolved, and again, this is just the first layer of this conversation in about a year that has finally opened up.
And let's be real, Tennessee's the first one through the door. You already know the first one through the door gets shot. Tennessee's the first one through the door. They're the first one that's announced it and said they're gonna do it. So yeah, we're gonna poke holes in it and try to figure out what's going on and how they came up about it. But I commend them for thinking of doing something, right? It's not all bad. I just don't agree with why you're doing it now and what's the justification. Yeah. Me personally, I can't stand being nickel and dime. I can't stand somebody all of a sudden changing something on me and there's no justification why you changed it. You're not giving me any explanation. So I get that part. That's the part where I get the frustration part. But as far as doing business, it's actually a smart business move, right? It's a smart business model, because that's how business works. The cost, the expense goes to the consumer.
That's what it is. And just like Tony's saying, playing sports is labor force intensive, but let's make sure that labor force is taken care of, and incentives, benefits, profit sharing.
That includes the guy that's the last one on the bench that's not playing, right? That's a support role. He's in the support role. Now, also, is there going to be tiers to the payment now? You got to look at everything. Does the star player or the starting five on the basketball team get more money than the guys that's on the bench? Right? Does he get more money they get more money because it's a tier structure, right? We're at work. Everybody can't make the same amount of money at work. They don't. Managers make more than employees. Senior managers make more than managers. VPs make more than them. Senior VPs make more. So there's always a tier structure. We're starting to step into that type of entity within college sports. So that's going to trickle down. So does your employees, what's the pay of your employees? Do incoming freshmen get a certain amount of money? Sophomores get a certain amount, so on and so on. Like how is this going to work? And I think those questions are going to start to come up. I really do.
Dan is asking, if they raise the price at the park, would you be okay with that as an alternative? No.
What do you mean raise the price of a park? What park?
I think and I don't want to put words in your mouth, Dan, but are you saying instead of the 10% talent fee, instead have higher price for admission into the arenas and the parks and things of that nature? Because again, now you're putting the onus on the consumer. You're putting the pressure on the person, the fan coming to the game, yes. And I don't think that really that doesn't solve. That's not even a Band-Aid, in my opinion. That's not even a Band-Aid to try to fix this.
That's a business, and I want to know how far that forecast that goes out. Right? Hey, we're going to raise it 10% this year, and is that 10% going to be sustainable? Well, we don't have to raise the price again for the next 10 years, right? Ooh. Like, show me some more paperwork as to how this is all going to work. or in some numbers.
Oh, you're
I
not gonna
just
see the
believe.
balance sheet. Oh no,
Yeah.
you're not gonna see the debits and the credits. They're not gonna show that to
Well,
you. Oh no,
I think but I mean, in all
oh
honesty, if
no.
you want your fans to be able to justify paying a higher price, you need to be able to justify why we're charging a higher price. And you just said, hey, we're going to use this to pay the athletes, and this is an athlete. Okay, well then I want to know exactly how much where that funds go to, and I want to know exactly how much you made. You know, and those questions will be asked. I'm telling you, they're going to be asked because if I'm a player, all right, well, you charge everybody 10%. How much money is that actually going to bring us in? Football game sells out, 80,000 people. Okay, you charge them an extra 14%. How much is that extra 14% going to come if we sell out? All right, how much is that 14% distribute throughout the football team or the athletics? Exactly. Not going to any coach, not going to any facilities that you want to build. It goes, does that 14% specifically go to players and players only? Who's tracking that money, where it goes? Who's the person in charge?
Somebody, hopefully an independent third party, independent fourth party. We gonna find out. Or we gonna do our homework.
I'm saying, man, they're doing, and please don't misconstrue me. They're doing the right business move, but bad timing and not enough information to support it, at least support it from somebody on the outside in. I'm not quite sure why. What I need to know the why.
Yeah. We hear you, Dan. He's talking about he's trying to think of just a way to take the onus off the students and perhaps put it on the alumni and the parents, because kind of, quite frankly, a higher percentage, more of the alumni are the ones that could afford something like this. But again, is that the right thing still to do? I understand, yeah, it's a business decision versus I'm flying into Tennessee to come hang out with some friends and family. I want to go to a Volunteers game. Oh, it's $400 plus 10% talent fee for all the tickets. Plus
I'm
the
a
hot dogs.
corporation. What about those corporate accounts?
Yeah,
What are those going to be charged?
yeah.
10% on that. But I'm saying, okay, that's fine. You're going to do that, right? We decided to move forward with that. That's fine. Show me where the money's going. Where's that money going? How much are we supposed to make? Forecasting that we're supposed to make, and is all that going to players? Because that's just a generic term. Well, that's a player's fee.
Yeah.
Okay, what does that justify? Does that pay for the player's towels? Is that paying for the player's salary? Is that paying for everything, or is that just straight salary? I want to know where it's going.
He said, does it
Because
even pay for the towels? Lord have listen.
well, I'm saying
We gonna put you.
if you're going to come out forthright and say this is what I'm charging you for, this is where
Yeah.
you want to go, okay? Well, then show me that it's going there. Show me that it's going directly to that person. Hey, we're making $1 million. Guess what? Our payroll for our athletic squad was $700,000, and now we have a $300,000 supposed to go into next month when we pay it. Okay, cool.
Well, what we gonna do is with this conversation, we gonna sign a petition. We gonna start a circular flyer, whatever the case may be, and what we gonna do, we gonna put you in office. Because
I'm not.
TD is saying, listen, we need you as the union president. And I second the vote, and hear ye. We gonna do a write-in ballot. We're gonna do a write-in ballot.
Yeah, y'all don't want me to be a GM because I just think there's questions that need to be asked, and I believe that people don't ask questions because it's easier just not to ask, right? It's easier just to go with the flow than to poke holes. But what I'm saying, we better pay attention to the people that are college fans because this is the start, not the finish. If Tennessee's going to charge it, guess what? South Carolina is going to follow the same model that they feel is successful and go the same way. Guess what is going to happen in Alabama? It's going to happen at USC. It's going to happen at UCLA. It's going to happen everywhere we go because they're setting the trend of how it's going to go. How do we make money and pay these players without affecting our pocketbook? Guess what, man? Just charge 10% on the ticket sales. Okay. How much money is that going to generate? Those are easy numbers. It's simple math. You can forecast how much that's going to go if we sell out. Based on how many people attended last year, you can just do a forecast and say, this is how much money we're going to make. I'm not saying that's wrong to do, but if you're telling me doing that, then I expect the money to go exactly where you're telling me, not to go anywhere else. And I'm going to ask questions. Well, how come the bonus money doesn't cover that? How come we don't go solicit sponsors to cover that? You know, how come we don't do these other things? I've already told you, if somebody got an NIL deal outside of the school and they make more money than the tuition. Guess what? They need to pay tuition. They're not on the free ride.
Yeah.
That should be an NCAA Division I rule. If you got an NIL deal and you're making $1 million on NIL deal, why am I giving you a free scholarship? I don't know. NCAA needs to do a lot. They need to do a lot of reconfiguring of this whole thing. I'm not understanding their thought process behind this whole thing. I really don't. It's frustrating. So Caleb Williams was a prime example. Who's in the NFL now? He made $11 million last year. Why are we giving him a free ride at USC? That could have went to somebody else.
Yeah. My challenge with this is, and I'm purposely kind of trying to throw salt on the wound, but again, and not trying to pat ourselves or anything, but the relevance of this story, and the fact that this particular story, and listen, we're just two cats here from California doing what we do, talking to the world. The fact that this hasn't been discussed a little bit more instead of CJ talking to Caleb Williams, or instead of whatever the case may be, the ramifications of this and the impact of this conversation right here and this situation right here, taking real money out of real families' pockets so they can go see a game, while you have, I forgot what the number was, $100 million of revenue at your school, major TV contracts, all these deals. Shirley said it already, the math ain't mathing. And just this should have been more of an elevated conversation. But again, this isn't a sexy conversation that necessarily sells. But it will get to that point.
You know what another caveat it should have been? It should have been the SEC across the board are going to charge 10% more for tickets so we can pay people out.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be in Tennessee. It should have been the SEC conference as a whole.
Yeah.
We're going to charge more for tickets. We're going to do this. We're going to implement this tax or whatever you want to. And here we go. The whole league is going to. So now we're setting the precedent as a conference. This is how we're going to pay everybody. Every school is going to charge an extra 10%. And the revenues will go forward towards paying the players. Cool. Okay. Good. But for an individual school to say that we're going to do it, so all of a sudden now you're going to just do it. It would raise, to me, it doesn't raise a red flag, but it raises that yellow flag right there, warning. What's going on? I need to be aware. I need to ask questions.
Yeah.
Those types of things.
And
so you're right.
It's just, I just think it's funny that we're asking the question, and I don't know what happens behind all the closed doors in the big conference rooms and, with all the muckety mucks and all, but I can just guarantee you that they're not going into the detail like this that matters to the end consumer, that matters to the family of fans who want to go see their big brother, their cousin go play at Bama or Tennessee or wherever school, and now I got to pay an extra 10%. We'll keep moving on, but I want to move on to the next story. I'm going to be cognizant of people's time, but it kind of is in line with what a question that Dan was asking. Did you have something else that you want to close out with on that?
No. I just think we need to be aware. We need to ask questions. Why? We need to ask why. We really do.
Mm-hmm. Talking about expansion. So again, cost, fairness, locality, and things of that nature. Dan's asking, in all fairness, as the NBA expands and players get more popular, prices will rise. How is this different? And this is going to be one of the last stories that we talked about tonight. Shouts out to the WNBA. Me and this guy right there, we've been fans of the WNBA for a minute. We've been following the WNBA since Sacramento had the Monarchs, and the Monarchs won the championship. It's unfortunate that they're gone, but just announced here within the last couple of months, 2 new expansion teams. Right, Bay Area is getting a team, and now just announced earlier today, WNBA is getting back to Portland. 15 teams
and Dan's
now
question
in the
was,
WNBA.
Dan's question was, how is that any different from them raising the ticket prices for that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's any different. I think you need to justify why you're doing that. Yeah. Now, my thing is, if the WNBA said across the board, hey, we're all going to raise our ticket prices. This is going to help fund the city, blah, blah, this, and do all that, or help fund whatever. I think there's a justification, there's an explanation behind it. I think when you do it as an individual entity out of the WNBA, why you're doing it, I think you need to explain why you're doing it and
Yes,
why
sir.
you're putting that cost back on the consumer. Because guess what? Business corporations have to do it. They do. If a corporate, Johnson Johnson said, you know, we're going to raise our prices 10%. And then you'll see in small caps raise them by 10% because corn prices went up, this went up, the manufacturer went up, and guess what? We're going to manufacture facilities somewhere else. That's all in the report when you do your stock. There's a stock report that tells you everything they did, what they're doing, why they're raising prices or why they're not. Why should they be held in any other? They should be held. They should be held without merit to say the same things. Why you're doing it. I just think it's wrong. I think fans need to be more appreciated, right? Not take it for granted. And I think a lot of these places take us for granted as fans. You know, they Tennessee is 100% sure fans are going to keep returning to the stadium and keep supporting. So 10% is nothing, you know. But if they didn't take us for granted, they would give us more information and make us understand why it's important for us to pay that extra 10%.
Yeah. Hopefully, collective bargaining. Hopefully, I'm gonna say in between season, but that's the time right now to have that conversation about what's going on with the college
But
sport.
it's crazy. Like they're making so much money off of this, off and all these entities, all these sports. You're making so much money off of this, and they're making all their money off the TV time, right? The fans come to the stadium. That's chump change. That's not a lot of money compared to what they make from the TV time and the things that they're doing. They're making so much money off of this. Yet nothing's changed, but prices increase. Right? Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed in Tennessee in the last 10 years. Nothing. Put a college football team out there, they play sports, play football. Nothing's changed except the fact that they're saying now we have to pay you. But remember, all before, they could have paid before. Right? Remember, the cry playing college athletes has been forever.
Truth.
Because there's been money there. NCAA has been making all this money all these years. There's already been there. WNBA, these professional teams, I'm assuming the owner has enough money to be able to start these franchises and pay them.
Oh yeah.
And specifically, Dan, for your question, there is no difference. There isn't any. I think if the Golden State Warriors are going to raise their prices for 10% to play for the stadium or whatever because they just built the stadium, I think they did raise their ticket prices when they moved over there. They need to justify why. Why is it up to the consumer to do that? And guess what? A lot of people don't go anymore. 49ers built their new stadium, they raised their ticket prices. Guess what? A lot of people they don't go anymore. Especially when you explain it. Why should we have to pay? I think fans need to ask those questions. They really do. They need to ask the question because they take us for granted to give our hard-earned dollars to their organization.
Where do we? All right, so I'm gonna be devil's advocate, and where do we voice those concerns? Because we try to voice those concerns, and when Colin was taking a knee, I even remember I said this: I'm not even gonna watch the games anymore. Right? I'm gonna take my TV revenue. I'm gonna take my Nielsen rating and watch something else instead of this sport, this game. Did that for a real short period of time because again, just like a lot of folks, a lot of fanatics. I'm drawn to the game because I like the game.
Yeah.
But where is that forum? Who do we talk to? Who's that committee that the fans have to voice the concerns out? Do we just vote with our dollar by not going to the game? Or
can you imagine this? Let's set a precedent. Let's say the Tennessee. Let's go to Tennessee Volunteers. They're going to raise their prices for 10%, right? Imagine one game, no one shows up.
Boycott the game.
No fan.
Boycott.
No one comes to the game.
Okay.
You don't think that sends a message? And granted, that's collectively that's hard. And I say it's harder to do in the professional setting because so many people from so many places come to watch the game. Tennessee's fans are pretty much right there in Tennessee. They sell out. It's like Michigan. A lot of Michigan. The away fans come, very small percentage. The home fans will come. Can you imagine the home fans say, we don't want to pay that 10%. Guess what? We're not going to that game. We're all not going to get. There's no one going to go to the game. That game is going to be pretty much empty. That's how you send the message. And I'm not here advocating to boycott sports or those programs. But I'm saying, explain to us why. Give me an explanation why. And if I'm in a college setting and I'm giving my hard-earned dollars, I really want you to explain to me why.
Yeah,
Because
that's 101,000 people
yes,
capacity at the
yes,
Volunteers at Neyland Stadium. That's
yeah. So
101,000 tickets.
so think about it. We're still in this argument with college athletes. Are they professionals or are they amateurs? Right? Still that argument. They're teetering on the ball. We say they're amateurs because we're paying them, professional, they're playing them, but there's another level to get you to professional, right? You're not quite the pro level. You're just getting paid. So if we're teetering that, and you're treating just like a company, just like and you're treating it like a company, just like any company, you should be able to give explanations to the people, your customers that support your company. And I'm saying, give us an explanation. What you're saying, and if that's just the player's fee, okay, fine. I get it. I want more information on that. WNBA, like you said, Dan, they're going to charge more prices because they're expanding teams. Okay, WNBA, explain to me why we have to pay you this extra 10% on every ticket. Oh, it's going to go to fund the stadium in Portland so we can have more of a broader team so we can get more TV revenue and go. You as our fans we're asking you to help pay. Cool. If you explain it to me, I have no problem paying the 10%. If you don't explain it to me, I'm going to ask why. So I want people to ask why.
No, that makes sense. It's just it's a question that has to be answered. A question that has to be asked, and I didn't want to assume, right, and have it go unanswered. But again, it's a tricky conversation because again we're dealing with real money, and to do a sit-in or a standout or a boycott for 101,000 seats in Tennessee,
man,
somebody gonna take note.
Yeah,
and somebody will listen.
Can you imagine a Duke game and no fans show up to the Duke basketball
game? Man, there would be a congressional hearing that next day.
So and why I'm using college more so than pros? College is the platform where that can happen.
Yeah.
Students have the power. Students have the power. They really do have the power on the college campus. A la UCLA. We were just, the situation that happened at UCLA. Students have a power. They have a voice. They really do have a dynamic voice that's there. So if students are like, hey, why are we paying $5 extra to go to the game? And they said, well, okay, let's just have the student section's not going to show up for one game. That's a problem. That's a huge problem.
That would be a problem.
That would be a problem. If you want to have a voice, they have the platform to have a voice, an accepted voice, and they won't be crucified for having that voice and acting on it because they're at the collegiate level. That's why I think that's important. I think it's important. And I think in the situation with Tennessee and that 10% thing, I think, hold on. Why? Give me the answer why we're paying it. And if no one wants to answer, that's fine. Go ahead and pay for it. But like I said, playing devil advocate, all those people that say college players should get paid now, guess who's paying for it? The people that want to be able to go to the game.
Yeah. Instead of the school, they're somebody's going to answer. Somebody has to be accountable for this. Somebody's going to have to be accountable. We bring in the story because again, it didn't smell right, didn't look right, it walk like a duck, all of those analogies. So walk
like a duck and bark like a dog.
There's something wrong here, man. So listen, that was good discussion, man. That's what it's all about. We had a couple more topics, but they're not time sensitive. We can get into them next time as well. I did want to make sure we ended on that expansion for the WNBA because I think that's exciting. I saw Dan made a joke about the fact that I hadn't mentioned Caitlin Clark yet. Listen, she's doing it, man. She's doing it.
Congratulations to the WNBA. I'm glad the playoffs are going to start next week, right? I believe.
Yeah.
Playoffs start next week.
Yeah,
So congratulations to the WNBA. I think we haven't even seen the best to come yet because I'm telling you guys, if you haven't watched a girls basketball game, you got to watch Juju at USC.
Oh yeah.
One of the most talented players in the world, in my opinion. That's going to be up and coming. But congratulations to that league. I think that league is surpassed all of our expectations of what it's now starting to set to be. And they're doing a really, really good job of marketing it. It's good. It's good to see something that no one really liked a few years ago, and now everybody's on the bandwagon talking about how great it is and what's going on and the moves that they're making. So congratulations to that organization. Big time.
Yeah. I mean, it was good to see Juju in some commercials. So she's getting some of that recognition. Yeah, you know, I'm already UConn. I'm already a Paige Beckers fans, and
Yep.
she's been winning all of this offseason. She's everywhere,
Yeah.
but it's good to see Juju out there getting that recognition as well. I'm still watching that unrivaled league that was
Mm-hmm.
started by Breonna
Yeah.
Stewart and some of those folks, and they got 20 out of 30 players. I can guarantee you of these last 10. All right, Dan, here's my Clark reference. I can guarantee you that if the money is right, and the money seems
Should be.
like it's going to be right, she may be number 30 to come in there because they've already got some stars. So we'll see. We're going to keep watching that, and that's exciting, right? That's exciting for us
Yeah.
as fans, man. But Montel Allen, we did what we had to do. We did what we had to do. We talked about some serious topics. We talked about some topics and some Arsenio Hall things that make you go, I
Mm-hmm.
just dated myself
Yeah.
with that.
Oh no, that's
Young
no
folks
problem.
on.
But before we go off, man, I want to send a prayers out to San Xavier University. One of their football players, untimely passed away this past week. So a big shout out to those guys. Prayers are with them, with the family of the young man that passed away, and the coaching staff and the team. Just want to give a shout out to those guys. I hope everything is okay. Just man, this is crazy. It's been a crazy year. So definitely shout out to Saint Xavier.
Yeah,
I wish them the best.
appreciate that.
Uh,
Appreciate that.
yeah, yeah. But beyond that, man, I think we did a good thing. I think there's a lot more to come. There's a bunch of stories, but again, y'all can read the scores on ESPN. I think we take it a little to the next level about how to dig in some of these things. And please, like James Earl says, tell a friend you like what we're doing and join the conversation. It's not like
That's it.
we don't we ain't shy. Ask any
We
questions
ain't
you want
shy.
to ask.
Listen, and I done told
Yeah,
Catman to keep with the comments. He's still out here talking about it. Say it won't work. They pay fees at the start of the year. They would have to do it through student government. I love it, man. I love it. Listen,
yeah. Hey, man, I mean, if you know more than I do, I would say, okay, if that's the way, but there has to be another way besides taxing that student. There's got to be another way
gotta be.
instead of taxing everybody else. There's got to be something, and there's more than enough money to go around. I just think like big corporations, they don't want their profit sharing to go down. I think ADs don't want their profit sharing to go away, and that's just my personal opinion.
Somebody got to sharpen them pencils and get in those right rooms. Listen, we gonna get into it. Oh Lord, y'all see, David, we're not gonna do that. We're not
Cool.
gonna.
Whoever have man, show the comment. Oh, yeah, there's plenty
Who
of
we
thoughts
talk
on that.
about? So last week it was Shannon. You know, be careful when you're doing whatever you're doing. Make sure your IG live is not IG live.
Yeah.
Diddy. Okay, it had nothing to do with sports, but
Oh, yeah, it
he
might be. We don't know yet. Them texts ain't came out
man.
yet.
The
I can
stuff that
tell you
they
this much.
found, what was it, 1,000 gallons
Yeah,
of baby
yeah,
oil, and man,
yeah.
listen,
That
Diddy
brother didn't
going
want
up.
no dry skin. Leave him alone. He
Lord
didn't
have
want no dry
mercy. See,
skin.
there he go. There he go.
That brother didn't want no dry skin. Now, as far as that case is concerned, I mean, everybody knows the evidence is there, based on him, or at least what was perceived as presented to us as evidence that's there. I mean, from what they say, he's been doing it for a long time, and if he's been doing it for a long time and he's finally been brought to justice, it is what it is. I just think you reap what you sow in this world. I think if you've done a lot of bad to people, the karma comes around sooner
Yeah.
or later. And unfortunately, it's
And
coming around. It seems like it's coming around on his behalf. I can't say I wish him the best, but I don't wish him the worst either. If that makes sense. I really don't really care what happens.
yeah,
That's not. I
today
don't
was.
have those kind of problems.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we don't have them kind of problems. But
I don't
today
have a
was
problem.
also not a good day for them. They thought they had a chance for him, but tonight, as it sits right now, it's the East Coast, 7, 8, 9. It's 10:30 right now, East Coast. Diddy right now is still sitting in a holding cell. He's still
Man,
sitting in jail.
you know,
He remains in custody after the judge denied bail appeal. He faces a sentence of up to life in prison.
see, man, but we talk about. See, we need to have another show about this because I don't. Some of the things I just don't understand.
We may have to
We
do
have
our own
we have a
version
presidential
of like a
candidate.
nightcap,
What?
right? We may
Yeah,
have to do our own version of a
yeah.
nightcap.
We got a presidential candidate who's been committed to some serious crimes as well. He's out on bail. He's running. He's actually running for president. But
Yeah,
yet a
convicted.
rap mogul charged with some similar crimes is not. He had the money to post a $50 million bill, and you said no. Why?
Yeah. Well, Diddy actually wanted to. I'm getting ideas now just about content creation and should we do something again, like should we just mimic a Shay Shay type of thing and do another type of show? But so they actually were willing to put up his paid for home
That's what I
mansion.
said. He came up with the
Yeah,
bill.
right,
Yeah, he had
in New York as
yeah,
collateral. Should
collateral
he?
for a $50 million
And
bill. Yeah.
he's already turned over his passport, so he's not going anywhere. And I was watching a little bit of it this morning. Some of the lawyer suggestions were, no contact with any females, no contact with anyone outside of family, that kind of thing. They were willing to give up his house for collateral, all the things. He wasn't going anywhere. Right, we saw videos on the
Yeah.
news of him a couple of days or the day before he got arrested. He's out in Central Park playing bungee ball what's
Yeah.
that whatever the sport is, but he's out there hanging out with some people playing sock hopping. I don't know what the sport is. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Diddy in trouble. Diddy in trouble, bro.
Well, anytime the feds raid your home, you're in trouble.
Yeah, you in trouble.
They don't raid your home unless they got a case against you.
Yeah, ain't nobody coming in this house. So I'm not in that kind of trouble. Yeah.
They took all that to do that. Like I said, I don't really feel either way about it. I mean, whatever. I don't have that issue. But for him, at least from what I've read and what I've seen, he's in a lot of trouble. But I'm just saying the process is not working the same for everybody. And that's the part that kind of upsets me about this whole thing. If he's able to post bail, you're able to wear an ankle monitor, and you're not going anywhere and all these other things, why not give him the privilege to be able to be out and get out and be at least on his own cognizance? If he jumps bail, he loses $50 million. So I don't think that's going to happen. So why are certain people getting different treatments for similar crimes, right? For similar crimes. Now I know I'm not saying other people did sex trafficking in there, but I vaguely remember dude on Epstein Island was out for a long time before they decided to do him. I believe he was out on bail before he actually got sentenced, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was on bail because he got indicted and he was still free, if I'm not mistaken. Please quote me if I'm wrong. So why was Epstein able to get out on bail and Puffy's not, and the charges are exactly similar? I need that. Please, somebody answer me.
I don't think anybody wants to answer that.
Why?
Dan said, good Lord, said Diddy, man, don't do that because I atoned the day that we lost Pop, right? So I took that day off, but I told you that story.
Well, I mean, regardless if he did that or not, and that hasn't been proven, I'm saying based on the charges they indicted him for, I believe my man, what's that? Take the show on the road tour.
We talked about that. We talked about that.
Yeah, let's do it.
We did talk about that.
But I believe, man, I really truly believe, man, that why is he being treated different? I think Epstein, like I said, Epstein was out on bail. How come Diddy's not getting granted bail? What's the difference? Same similar crimes, right? Same thing.
Did they let Robert out, or did they put him away?
Who's that?
Robert Kelly. Yeah. Call
him his government name, huh?
I'm gonna call him by his government name.
He got a little ways to go.
I'm gonna tell him Robert. I'm gonna call him Robert.
If Puffy going in, he better change his nickname from Puffy and P Diddy to just Sean.
Yeah, no more Diddy. It better be okay. See, there we go. So we gonna end on this because we going on tangents, but we the community is going crazy right now.
We don't care.
We don't care. But let me ask you this, because I no longer have any R. Kelly in the rotation. Publicly.
I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. Okay. I can't. I do.
But are you going to take the bad boy out of the rotation publicly?
Nah, no, I'm not. I'm not a fan. I'm not a guy that's like, he did something.
Take that.
Did everybody take out Elvis Presley when he was a racist? Did they take out his music out of the playlist? Did they take out all the situation when Michael Jackson was accused of being touching kids? Did people take him out of everything? No.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, if I like the music, I like the music. It's just a song. I'm smart enough to understand between what's real and just entertainment. That's just the entertainment aspect. I like the song, cool. I'm gonna just listen to
Oh
it and
my
keep it on.
man. Hold on, how much
I'm
tape
not
we
gonna,
got? Oh, we got it.
yeah, I'm not going, all that taking out of my song play and all that. I'm not gonna do that. I mean, I don't listen to Diddy a lot anyway. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying if a song come on, I'm not gonna be like, whatever. Whoever thought, what did he say? I will go back to the first.
He said, whoever thought Diddy would be the same sentence as Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Donald 45, and Vince McMahon. Yeah. I can't say his name. I got to call him 45.
I feel
like I get struck by lightning if I say his name.
I don't know. No one, dang, that's a good one. No one thought his name was mentioned in that, but he on the place, man. I mean, that dude, he's in a bad situation.
Goodness.
Man.
See, all the little cultural heroes, and they're not really heroes, but right, because we already cut Ye. We cut him a long time ago.
Ye been gone for about 2 years now.
Ever since he did that little whack concert benefit, right.
Yeah. Hey, did you ever find out where that money went?
Because that money went. No, that money went to some more moon boots or something, or some ski masks for him. That money did not go where it was supposed to go. We gonna leave that alone. David Hunt, we streaming just to a couple of places, man. This is we streaming to the main localities for Team No Sleep. We streaming on the personal channel. A lot of the community wanted us to break it off as well. So Team No Sleep channel in and of itself, and the brand page on Facebook. So those are 3 locations that Team No Sleep. Diddy may be safer in jail. Listen,
hey, man,
whatever don't kill you make you stronger.
Take that. Huh? I can't call it, man. Hey, you know what though? Hey,
take us home, boy. Take us home.
Yeah, man. They're not like us. That's for sure. I know Sugar smiling somewhere, unfortunately. Sugar probably smiling somewhere.
No, is Sugar on the West Coast or East Coast?
He locked up down here in San Diego, right by Tijuana.
Oh, he down the street from you. Okay, watch out.
Yeah, he's down there. So
he down the street.
Not as sad, man, but you know what? I don't wish bad things on anybody. I mean, like I said, karma does come back around. You do bad things to bad people. You do bad things to good people, bad things gonna happen to you, unfortunately. So it'll be, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I'm no judge, no jury. So here we go. All I can do is have an opinion.
So give us the moral of the story, and then we're gonna call it tonight, and we're gonna see everybody next week.
Moral story. I mean, you gotta believe what you want to believe, and kind of just go with it. I mean, I'm not. You know what? There's too many situations where I thought someone was guilty, and then all the evidence comes out, and then they're not guilty. So I don't know what's going on. I do know though, if a Fed raids your home, you pretty much they got a strong case against you to do some things. Do some things. To either hurt, and Diddy's tarnished no matter what at this point. His pocketbooks will be hurt. His reputation will be hurt. He'll never be able to work in the industry again. So it's almost going to be a death sentence either way if he gets on or he gets off if he goes to jail, right? Because if he gets out, he's probably going to lose a lot of money. He won't be able to resume his career ever again the way it was, even not even close to the way it was. He'll be ostracized by public opinion. So he'll be living in a hell, walking free, or he's going to be in jail, living in a hell. So either way it goes, his life will never be the same, regardless of the situation. That's my moral of the story. I really don't care. It's not me. I have other things to focus on. So Team No Sleep is more important to me than what's going on with Puppy, in my opinion. So to end
that's it right there. Good Lord.
Please, everybody, be comfortable having uncomfortable conversations because that's how we learn. It's Team No Sleep.
Bringing the heat, Team No Sleep, with heavy as me, we're on the mic, taking over the game, no time for rest, no scrambling for fame. Talking sports, breaking it down from the court to the field, all around town, we stay up all night, grinding on the mic, bringing news, real stories on the fly. Montel's got the stats changed,